In this video, we will talk about for loop. So in the previous video, I talked about while loop. I also explained the use of break and continue statements. So the usage of break and continue statements is exactly the same for loop as well. So therefore, before going on further in this video, I highly recommend you to watch the previous video on while loops if you haven't watched yet. Okay, so let me continue with the for loop concept. So like while loop, for is also a loop in Python and does similar task, but a little bit different. Okay, as we use condition to control the flow of while loop, here we don't use condition, here we use something else. Okay, so we talked about list. Okay, let me start with the list first. We talked about list. So here I write a list with names Gurmeet, then comma, Aman, then Daman. Okay, now if I want to access or print these items of the list names one by one, I can make use of for loop. How? I can write like this: for, so for is the keyword, for, let's say write any variable, let's say name. Okay, so I call one item as name, so I can write like this: for name in names. So it's a simple English. Okay, I'm writing for the variable name in the list names. Okay, for the variable name in the list names, and then I'm pressing enter. You see indentation similar to while loop, if else statements. Okay, for name in names, and then here I am accessing the variable name. Okay, let's see what it gives. So you see the names or the items of the list are printed one by one: Gurmeet, Aman and Daman. So this variable, whatever we write here, right next to the for keyword and before ahead of the in keyword, this will contain the each and every item. Okay, so it is also doing iterations. Okay, so this Gurmeet is printed in the first iteration, this Aman is printed as a result of second iteration processing by the for loop, and this Daman is printed in the third iteration process. Okay, so this is how for loop works. Okay, for loop basically accesses the items one by one in iterable objects. So I used this word iterable objects in one of the previous videos of this series, but I haven't explained what are iterable objects. So iterable objects are the Python objects that contains one or more items. So names, you see, so this contains one or more items because this is a list, and hence it is an iterable object. Or we can also define iterable objects like this: the objects that can be used for iteration in loops. Okay, so like we are basically iterating this names list using the for loop. Okay, similarly, as I am doing iteration for this names list, you can also do the same for tuple, set or dictionaries. Let's see how. So this is now a tuple. You can see we can do the iteration in a similar way. This is now a set. I can do the iteration in the similar way, but as I told you, set is unordered, so every time it gives the results in some different order. And similar is the case with dictionary as well. Yes, dictionary as well. Okay, let me just give some key value pairs here, like let me just redefine this. Okay, I'm defining bio again, the same dictionary. Here I'm defining the key as name and the value as Gurmeet Singh. And here I'm defining age, which is 22. And then here I'm defining my city, that is Ludhiana. Okay. So now let's access the dictionary items. For item in bio, I'm writing here item in bio and then printing the item. So you see, it just prints the name. It just prints the key, name, age and city, but it does not print the value. So one way to access the values like this: we can access the item like this, and then we can say bio. So item contains the key, we can write like this: bio at item. So you see, name Gurmeet Singh, age 22, city Ludhiana. So this is the one way to completely access the dictionary. So there is even a better way to access the items in dictionary. Okay, and that is like for for key comma value. Okay, I can write like this: for key comma value, this is key, this is value. Okay, for key comma value in, not bio but bio dot items. I told you about this items method in one of the previous videos about Python dictionary. And then I'll just print key comma value. Okay, let's see what it gives. So you see, it gives the same result: name Gurmeet Singh, age 22, city Ludhiana. So this is one way you can access the full key value pairs of a dictionary using the for loop. You can also do like this if you just want to access, let's say, key. If you just want to access the key, okay, you can do like this: simply bio. You can do like this, it will print the keys by default. And you can also do like this, bio dot keys. Okay, but if you want to print the values only, you can do like this: value, because it will give in a single iteration it will give only one value, na? So here in bio dot values. Okay, Gurmeet Singh, 22, Ludhiana. So this is how you can use for loop, to iterate through the different iterable items like Python collection object. Like we use a else statement with if statement. Similarly, we can also use else with for. This is an uncommon concept. Like why uncommon? Because this is I have only seen this in Python but not in other programming languages, using a else block with for. So else block executes, always executes. Okay, it always executes unless or until you have not used the break statement to manually stop the for loop or while loop. The only exception is you must not use a break statement if you want the else block to be always executed. You can simply write this: I will execute when for loop finish its task. Okay, let's run it. So you see, after printing the items, it is printing I will execute when the loop finish its task. So it will always execute. The only exception case is the use of break statement. If you intentionally stop the loop using the break statement, this else block will not execute. So let me just make use of break statement. So I'll say if the value is equal to 22, that is the second case. Okay, then this loop should break. Okay, let's see. So you see, it prints Gurmeet Singh 22 and it breaks. And also the else statement is not executed. So whenever you will use break statement, this else block will not execute in case of for loop. So if you want to understand the purpose of break, again I recommend you to watch the previous video of while loop. Similarly, you can also use continue statement in for loop, but again it is the exactly same concept that I have already explained in the while loop video. Okay, now this was all about accessing iterable objects using for loop, but in most of the other programming languages we use for loop usually to iterate with the help of numbers. What I mean is, like, I equals to 1, I is less than equal to 10, let's say I plus plus, we use like this. If you are familiar with other programming languages, you might be knowing this and looking for this thing. Okay, so how you can do this in Python? So let me tell you. Okay, let's say I want to print the multiplication table of, let's say, 24. Okay, I want to print the multiplication table of 24 up to 10. Okay, so how can I do using for loop? Okay, so I'll write for I in range. So there is an inbuilt Python function range. Okay, let me explain you range first. Okay, what is range? So I am just printing range, let's say, and range contains an integer as an argument. So let me write let me just write 10 inside it. Okay, 10. So, and I'm also printing the type of this. Okay, type of range bracket 10. Okay, let's see what it gives. So you see, it simply prints range 0, 10 and class range. So range is an inbuilt Python iterable object. It is an iterable object. You can use it with for loop. Okay, it is an iterable object. So that gives a range of numbers. So what I mean is, You can relate it with this, like if I have numbers is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a list. So similar is the case with this range 0 to 6. Not so the last character that we specify, in range as the second argument is not included. So both of these will give similar result. How? I'll show you. Okay, so I'm doing let me just give this one also numbers range. Okay, so now I'm using a for loop for number in numbers. First I am iterating through the list, then I'm printing the number. Okay, and then I am using the for loop, let's say for num in numbers range. Now I'm printing num. You will see both will give the same result. You see, first it gives 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is printed using this and this one is printed using this. Okay, so I hope you got the idea what is the purpose of range. A range function is often used in for loops. Okay, like for I in range, if I want to print numbers up to 10 or up to 10 I will use 11. Okay, then only it will go from 0 to 11, or if I want to print from 1 to 10 I will use 1 comma 11. Okay, and then I'm printing print I. You see 1 to 10. So this is similar to what you use in other programming languages like this. For I equal to 0, I equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, and then you do print here, right? So this is exact what we do using this in Python. Okay, now as I told you that we will write a multiplication table using this concept. We can do like this: for I in range, let's say up to 11, and then then here I can use f string. Then I can write, let's say I want to print the multiplication table of 5. We were to write the multiplication table of 24. I can write 24 multiply by then I. Okay, and then that will be equals to 24 multiplied by I. Okay, let's see what it gives. So you see it prints the multiplication table of 24 up to 10. 24 times 0, 0, 24 times 1, 24, 24 times 2, 48. So this way you can write any kind of logic and make use of for loop. You can also write another for loop within a for loop, and you can even also write another while loop within a while loop. So even you can use another if else statement in another if else statement. So everything in a nested way is possible in Python. Okay, so let me now just print tables from 1 to 10. Okay, I will print 1 to 10 tables. Okay, what I have to do for that is I have to just give it also a name. Let's say table cross I will always go from 0 to 10, and then here in the another for loop for, let's say, table and tables, or tables is what, range from, I want to print tables from 1 to 10, right? Again 1 to 11 only, and then I will put this, the second for loop, intended. So here the second for loop is I have used indentation for this entire second for loop. So here there are 2 tab spaces. Okay, so now let's see what it prints. So now you see it prints table from 1 to 10, multiplication tables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, sorry, I have also used only 24. Here I have to write table. So now it's correct. Okay, now the values are correct. So this is an example of nested for loop. And let's say if you do not want to perform any function, you can also use pass here. I told you can use pass anywhere in Python where you just do not want to do anything in a particular block, but you just want to have it for future use maybe or anything, right? You can do like this. You see, no output because we haven't done anything. That's all about for this video. You will come to know where you can use for loop, while loop as you become an expert in Python.